Hey you guys, Kari here from the Alfred Homestead, and today I wanted to take you along with me just on a normal day when my husband has off. So first thing in the morning, I wanted to head outside and start collecting some of this goldenrod that is all over our front meadow. It has bloomed, it is beautiful, it's just a sea of yellow out in the front. And I thought that I would gather some today to make some tea and also to make some goldenrod jelly. So I will post that video up in a few days, so keep your eye out for that video, and I'll show you exactly how I use this wonderful plant in the kitchen. So we had quite a bit on our to-do list today as usual, but the next thing we wanted to go ahead and get done was to fix up the summer garden that is in full disarray. And I needed to take all those hooks off of the trellis. Our cucumbers and tomatoes are here in this long 50-foot row parallel to the chickens, and it's just ready to be cleared out. And so I kind of was thinking, what was the best way to do this? I wanted to maybe plant a cover crop like clover or rye, but then I thought, we have these rabbits, these kits that are about 5 weeks old, and they need to be moved out to pasture. So what we did was we lifted up the irrigation system on this section, and we are going to put them here, right on the garden. And they will go ahead and eat through a lot of these weeds and basically take the work off of our shoulders by eating through all of that grass and the weeds, and also replenishing that soil with their manure. So they're going to add a lot of nitrogen into the soil and help replenish that soil from the season that we just had. So hopefully that'll work out. Every couple of days we will move this tractor over to the next section. So we're just putting them here at the first corner of the garden bed, and you can see it's pretty grassy still, but over the course of a day or two they will do a lot of work between eating the fresh grass and stomping down the older stuff that's dried up. They will do a lot of work in here. So that's kind of how it looks. They're going to be right next to our chickens, so that'll actually kind of make it easier as far as the chores goes and getting everything done together at one time. So now we're just going to go and collect those kits that we have. Unfortunately, this was a small litter. We only have 3. And they're about 5 weeks old now, so that mama is ready to have her space freed up again, and we'll give her a week or so to recover from that before we go ahead and breed her again. So you'll see we just popped them in a plastic pot to transport them really quickly. So they will have a nice new home with fresh pasture, and this will be their home for the next 10 weeks or so. And we will just move them every couple of days depending on how quickly they're going through the grass in that particular area. And then once the rabbits have completely done their part, then I think we'll try and have the chickens come in to finish up the rest of that. So I'll have to show you guys how we carry on with this process and what that looks like. We may end up putting the tarp over it as well once the animals are done with that section, or we'll just keep going and rotating the animals through the summer garden all winter long. So you can see they're already getting cozy there in their new home. So I wanted to update you guys on the composting ring that we put in last week in the chicken area. And you guys, I'm super impressed with this already. We have added kitchen scraps to this every day, and you can hardly even see them. They have been worked into that horse manure and all the other sorts of odds and ends and pieces that we've put in there that you can hardly tell what was thrown in there. And we've been making sure to water it daily as well, which again has been pretty easy to keep up with because we're already there with the chickens, giving them their water. So it's pretty easy to just have one of the girls hold the hose over it. So you can kind of see what I mean. It's like indistinguishable what we had put in there. And we're going to keep adding to it for another couple of days, and then we'll let it sit for a few weeks. And I will say the chickens have been really active in that area, even without the food that we have thrown in there to sort of incentivize them to go in that ring. They just love hanging out there, so that's been really great. And we're just going to slowly introduce the pullets that we have to our main chickens. So my husband is just moving the chicken tractor up a few yards so that he could then move the pullet tractor into the chicken area. So you can see that's the pullet tractor. Those pullets were hatched in June, mid-June, so it's just about time to go ahead and integrate them with the other chickens. So you can see the older guys are already saying hi. So hopefully in a few days we'll get them introduced. And we're just stacking some firewood. We're always stacking firewood. We burn with it through the winter. We sell it. So that's always on our to-do list. The next thing that we wanted to do was to go ahead and start a fresh batch of the leaf mold compost. This is really nice compost that breaks down and can be used as a potting soil. Most of the time we just use it as like a mulch, which is great, but we wanted to do a little bit more with it this time because we have so many leaves. So what I did was I just took the riding lawnmower through the woods where most of those fallen leaves really needed to be picked up anyways, and just collected quite a few loads of dried leaves off the ground. And we had these giant plastic tote bags lying around for months now. They came with the feed that we ordered. We ordered 4 large ton-sized tote bags of chicken and rabbit feed. And I didn't want to just throw them away. It seemed kind of wasteful to throw that much plastic away, and it's just a really big plastic bag. So finally I thought, well, we could use that to put all of our leaf mold in. So that's what we did. We are loading up that's the tote bag. The white bag is that huge bag, and we are going to load that sucker up as full as we can with all of those dried leaves. And once that's full, that will sit for anywhere from 1 to 3 years until it's completely dark and crumbly and fresh to use right in the garden. So I only did 2 loads with the lawnmower, and that big tote bag was already a quarter of the way full with leaves. So I was happy with how quick that process was. It seemed like a very efficient way to get all of your dried leaves. If you were going to sit there and rake it, boy, that would take you a long time and your back would be hurting for sure. So I will show you guys, of course, the end product. It's going to be a little while though, so stick around for that. I hope you guys enjoyed what a day in the life looks for us here at the Alford Homestead. We have a lot to get done every day. We are outside as long as we can, and our girls are there with us, so we all have a good time together. I'll see you guys next time.